Hey guys, welcome back to this fortnight's backstage class. And this week we are showing you how to do this modern updo. So this is only on my short haired model again, my mannequin. So if you have any questions, let me know. You can drop me an email back, or you can come and see me over on Instagram, drop me a DM as normal. But we're going to be going through this. It's all pretty straightforward and pretty easy really. I've just been playing about with a few ideas to try and find something that's a little bit different to bring to you. And this is what I came up with for the first one. It's on a short hair, but you could do it on different hair lengths. When I did this one, messing around, I redid it. I didn't put any padding into this, but you can see that without the padding, it's got the gaps and things in it here, and it's not sat as well as the first time that I did it. So this time I'm going to be putting the padding back in it, so you can see that it comes in and sits much better, because you see it's quite gappy here. It sits much better when it's got padding. I'm obsessed with padding. So follow along and let me know what you think of this style. I'd love to get your feedback. Okay, as you can see, she is quite a short hair, just below shoulder level really, but this is quite thin as it comes around the bottom. You only want a little bit of texture through, so if you're working with a client that's very fine, very slippy, unruly, anything that's got a real shine to it, anything that's got no texture through to it and it feels a bit soft, you want to be going through and just quickly going through with, it can even just go through with a wand, and using your products to suit your client's hair up. If you're not sure what products to use on certain clients, if you're still struggling with floppy and untextured hair and not quite getting the texture right, I've got a free downloadable, so if you haven't received that, let me know, I can drop it to you, or otherwise you can just go over to the link in the bio on Instagram and it's all on there for you anyway. So we're starting at right from the front, a section here, but as we go through I'm going to be moving, so we want symmetry but we don't want it to be too perfect, because we're going to have to try and hide that line afterwards. At the moment guys as well, we're in temporary accommodation because we're waiting to move, so my setup is quite different to what I normally do, so please excuse my backdrop. I am on a mission to make sure I get it all back for you guys so it's much better. So yeah, all I've taken is almost like a mohawk section right down and down to the back, but I've left everything from occipital bowl down, so that we can work that into the chignon afterwards. So I'm not going to start too far forward, because if we're working on a client going out or a bride or something, they'd usually want some sort of quiff if they're coming from this far forward. So I'm literally just going to use my fingers. I don't want to take the texture out of it too much. If they're very, very floppy and fine, you'll want to put a tiny bit of back combing through this front section as well. I'm literally just going to do a French braid straight down the middle. So I'm going to start about there, because then that gives us this little bit of lift at the front, and then just work that all the way. We're going to pop an elastic on the bottom of there. For our inspiration picture, or the style we're working towards, these sides are twisted in, so I'm going to take these out. So I'm just going straight across and taking it to the back of the ear, because then this is going to be what comes into the chignon to keep it soft. These bits are going to be drapes. Ooh. Same on the other side. So from where the base of the braid is, straight across. Bottom section, we're just going to add some back combing. So I'm just going to, all I'm doing is teasing and then keeping around anything that's going to be swept up and you can see underneath. We're just going to take out the teasing so you can't see that area. Okay, that is it. So put as much as you feel like you need. We're going to add in some hairspray. I am working aerosol free at the moment, so I am on Flexible Finish from Weller. Now we're going to create the anchor, so you'll want to check where a hairline is and make sure that your hairpins, when you put them on, give you enough to swoop, so you don't want your hairpins to be coming out and being able to see anywhere. So we're going to just pinch the hair over the side. So then we're going to kind of bring this in as if it's going to drape into here. And then we're going to put our first hairpin in. So we're taking up a little bit of the side hair, taking it into the centre. We don't want to be too far out towards the edge. Taking that hair, making sure it connects with the scalp, so then we know it's not going to flop around. Then we're going to take another one and put that in a downwards. Go down. Oh, I've got an extra piece of hair there, I need that out of the way. So try and keep your sections nice and neat, it'll make it much easier for you when you're working. Then we're going to take from that side and go up. So each time your pins are going to interlock, one's going to cross over the other. This one's crossed over that one. Same on the other side, so I'm going to bring the top half of that section just a small amount in so it just starts to create that drape. And then this time I'm going to go back in the opposite direction and make sure that hair's included in there. So each hairpin interlocks, and then you can pull this out and drape as much as you want. So you're going to leave this free for the time being. So when we get to here, I'm just going to take a pin into the braid and then take that into the pins underneath as well. You don't want it to go too close to the scalp this time because you don't want to start causing any aggravation. And then we're going to work on these side pieces. So they're basically split into two, which is really easy. So I'm taking I'm not going quite up to the hairline. I'm going to come slightly back from the hairline and scoop around. We have a hidden hairpin, leaving enough around the front to make sure we've got a nice blend when it comes to do the second piece. So I'm just going to take all this section. I'm just going to start by twisting, and then I'm going to pick some up as if we're doing like a French plait. So all I'm doing is twisting the hair and then picking another piece up and adding it in. I'm going to do that another few times yet, so don't worry if you're not sure how to do that. And then as that comes across, I'm going to take that over to the back. Secure that down here. So again, don't be layering just be conscious of how you're layering your hair groups. You don't want to be layering them over each other too much. And then I'm just going to pull out bits of this braid. So where it feels like naturally, it's got a little bit of a swish. I'm just going to pull some of that hair out. And if you feel like it's too separate from the braid, so here, if you feel like this is a bit too prominent, you take a pin into the twist. You're not going to open the pin, you're just going to leave it as it is. And then lift it and take it to the braid and push down. And then that will just lift it into the braid. And then these we can pull out. Just play around with it really and see what feels right. Sometimes if it's a bit short, you just be careful how much teasing out you're doing and softening, because you can go a little bit too far. As broken or as soft bow hair as you like. Okay, so we're just going to take out a little bit around the hairline. So if your client might not want anything around the hairline at all, so remember we're twisting. So we're twisting and we're following that same direction. So my hair is kind of following the shape of the head. I'm picking up some more. Just work out what kind of hair you want around the front. Twist again, taking this up, twist again. Again, and then this bit is the bit pieces left to go into the chignon. So I'm just going to tease this out again. So adding a pin in, and if we go over where we just did the last section, we can interlock those as well. And that is that side done. And then we'll come over and do exactly the same thing on the other side. Over the hairline and scooping round. And then we're going to twist this back again. So I'm going to twist near the top, and then I'm bringing in a little bit more hair. twisting again, twist again, and then take this over the other side and secure that with a Kirby. I'm always using Kirby's as well, just because Kirby's are so much easier for anchoring, because they're so compact, they hold everything in place. It's so much easier. They have a lot more grab, so it saves you having to go, and if once you've left your client, you know that these are going to stay in place, because they've got really good grip because they're so close together. Some of the more open hat pins, as soon as a client went for a wedding day, they can slip and the hair can fall out, so you have to be really careful. You're not sending your client off with a hair perfect that's not going to have enough structure and stay in later on. Now the last part is this around the front, so we're going to take that little bit to frame the face again around the front. So I've just checked with your client how much she likes. Some more up, and that is everything apart from what we've got at the bottom. I'm going to pin that, and then I'm just going to drape this. That's now all the hair in place, and all we have to do now is the chignon at the bottom. Okay, so we have a little piece of donut, which is just one of these broken up, and I've just got a sliver, which I'm going to wrap into a little piece like this, and we're going to put that into the style. And then I'm going to pop a pin in to one side, take that over and push in, but I'm only catching where the grips are. I'm not digging it right into the head, so it's not mega layered with the hairpins. You know, if she's laid in with hairpins underneath, it gets really uncomfortable and it can get quite itchy. And you want us to be able to keep this hairstyle in as long as possible. The longer she keeps this in, the more it's your walking advertisement. Just going to add some back comb and make sure all these hairs are in line with each other. Okay, so this last part we're going to split into 3. So I'm going to take the middle section, so we're going to leave one over there, one over here, and first I'm going to take our middle section. So I'm just going to bring this up, and then going to hold my hand like this and twist the ends underneath, and then I'm going to put a hairpin in there. And at the very top of the padding, I'm going to push that pin into the padding and just tuck the ends away. Then here, if you just want to fan out the hair and use as much of this as possible. So I've not opened the hairpin, I've just fanned out the hair and taken it over. Make sure it's all in place and it feels secure, and then we're going to take each side over now. So I'm taking one from this side, making sure the ends are all tucked away. I'm just going to pinch fingers just to move the hair over and make sure there's no back combing or anything we can see in there, and then pull this down to make sure it's blending into your centre section. Bring that over this side. And pin. And you take that over, and then we're going to tuck that. So we're bringing that hair over, and just under where we've pinned the other section, we're going to tuck the ends into there. So I'm going to open my pin over the edge, take that in, and then pin those, stuff those ends underneath that section, and then just push that pin in a little bit more. And if you've got a little bit of a gape like here, you can lift and push, and just pretty chignon. I'm just going to lift the other side just for a bit more reinforcement here. I'm not going to open the pin again, I'm just taking them through. secure. And then we can just keep fanning out the braid, adding pins in where we feel like it might need a little bit more lift. You can just manipulate it to just lift it, pull it out where you want extra pulling out, soften the braid a bit more. Now here, I think this is a little bit wider, so we do need to fill this in. So I'm going to take a hairpin into where the hair curves again, lift that and push it down into the other hair that's secured, so then we know it's anchored in and it's not moving. So I'm just going to lift, build this out. And then for the image that I've posted up, I just had these little pins from the bobby pin that have got just a hat pin on the end, and we'll pop those. So the pins of these as well, again, this is where your padding comes in really well as well, because I tried this into the hair without the padding and the pins were much floppier and didn't feel like they were very secure. Whereas when you've got the padding in, it disappears into it, so it anchors it so well and now it's not moving anywhere. So I'd be more confident having the padding in, knowing that my client's still going to have that hair in easily at midnight. It's not going to be moving anywhere. That is the complete style. It's super easy to put together. It's just about blending your pieces, adding accessories and getting used to working with different hair lengths, because so you might not even need padding if you're working with someone with thicker hair, but I have found that using that bit of padding will make it so much better for securing accessories, and then those final hairpins have just got somewhere else to go other than on the scalp, so you've not got anything aggravating there either. And then this will just stay in really, really well. And then all I would say is if your client's going out, just to watch the jacket for collar, anything like that they're going to be wearing, because if it rubs against this you can get some of the hairs falling down. But again, it's soft, so even if some hairs do fall down it might look quite pretty. But yeah, I hope you liked it. Give me some feedback. If you do come and follow along and do this, then remember to tag me in over on Instagram or send me your images in and I'll share them. And I look forward to seeing you next fortnight for the next Backstage class. Also available now is Mentor Monday. So if you haven't seen over on Instagram, I've been hosting Mentor Monday, which is a one-to-one free coaching. We jump on a FaceTime, so you can be anywhere in the world and it helps you perfect a certain style. So last week we had someone that wanted to master a waterfall braid and the transformation for her was unreal. So if you are looking for some help and you want a little bit of free tuition and learn a bit more about online learning, then please drop me a message with an image of the style that you'd like to learn. All I ask in return is that you let me have the before picture, which you've trialled before, and the after picture after we've finished the training, and then just a little bit of feedback on how you found your learning online experience. But that is it for me. I will see you in a couple of weeks. If there's any style requests that you would like to see, please drop me a message, and otherwise I will see you over on Instagram. Take care.